Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett joins us now with the first alert forecast. Mike.
Hi there. I have good news on the horizon. You know what? We are tracking some unsettled weather through the weekend. In fact, we had a frontal boundary that moved through earlier. We've got some post-frontal moisture that will continue to make its way down the west coast yet once again. Take a look at this, taking aim at California yet once more. The Sierras and possibly some of the mountains in Southern California getting ready for more low-level snow. Not as weird as it was this week already, but looks like there's no rest for the weary. What we get out of the deal is by Sunday at 10, this thing will be clear of us, and it looks like we get a nice ridge that'll build in behind it. It could give us some tranquility early next week. I'll show you that in a moment, but in the meantime, we've got some work to do. We've got some lowland rain and some mountain snow. That's going to be expected through the weekend there. We're going to see some minor lowland snow again, but similar to the pattern that we've been in here, it's going to be wet, and there will only be minor accumulations expected. I'll show you where I do expect a little to accumulate, and then quieter and drier next week. In fact, we could be seeing some sun breaks for a good portion of the week. As it stands right now, this is what we call post-frontal moisture. You're seeing not particularly well organized, except for right there where there is some very well-defined convergence that is driving some snow up into the passes, especially Stevens. Winter storm warning in effect until 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. Looks like we'll eke out about another 2 to 5 inches. Most of the activity has already taken place, so if you are headed up towards the mountains, it will still be breezy there. And right at 9 a.m., we will continue to see some snow that will be moderately heavy there. Meanwhile, things tapering to showers down in the lower elevations. Fast forward to the Friday evening commute. This is right around 6 p.m. We will see some rain-snow mix pretty much over top of portions of Everett, possibly into places like Bellevue, and then off towards the Olympic Peninsula and Hood Canal. Looks like we could see some flurries flying there as well. Notice how it's coming up from the south and kind of curving. That means the low is well offshore. That counterclockwise flow will bring up some rain and some snow, especially down towards places like Chehalis and Olympia. But you can see from the pink on the sides there, again, it's going to be a bit on the wet side there, so not expecting much in the way of accumulation. Sunday morning before this thing departs, it's going to do one more band of what could be snow over top of Tacoma and Olympia, but it's moving so quick that I don't expect much in the way of accumulation. By Sunday, look at this, we're starting to see some clearing from Seattle northward there, especially up towards the Canadian border and Mount Baker. Meanwhile, I'll see some spotty showers along the coast. Snow levels still ridiculously low. Now, there will be a little bit of a caveat. They dip down to about 400 or 500 feet on Thursday and Friday, and then come back up to about 1,000 feet. But still, that's pretty darn low, and it looks like it's going to stay that way into next week. But the temperature profile doesn't really support sticking or accumulating snow, unless, of course, you happen to be in places like, I would say Chehalis, Raymond, and then take a look at this. Bremerton and Shelton will get on the scoreboard once again. Looks like Bremerton could see a couple of inches accumulating by the time we get to Saturday night. Roll through the rest of the weekend there, and it looks like we'll just kind of stay with some minor accumulating, what we call lawn level snow in most spots. Snow accumulation in the mountains will be impressive overnight tonight, and by the time we get finished with the weekend, take a look at this. Because of that southerly component, looks like White Pass could actually be the big winner this weekend. Stevens not far behind. 7-day forecast shows temperatures touching down in the mid-30s in the Seattle metro. Tonight we'll get into the mid-40s, and then next week it looks like we'll see some clearing that could bring us some sunshine, especially Wednesday.